we explore the intersection of functions and philosophical perspectives on art. How do we define the purpose of art? Is it purely aesthetic, or that it serve a different function?
Philosophers like Plato believe art should serve a moral function, while others argue for art's intrinsic value, independent of any practical use.
Consider the functions of art in society. Does it challenge norm, provoke thought, or provide comfort?
We'll examine various artistic movements and their philosophical underpinnings, from the Renaissance to modernism.
Join us as we unravel the complex relationship between art, functions, and philosophy.
Personal function of arts. Art serves profound personal function, acting as a powerful medium for individual expression, emotional release, and creation of meaning. So there are four types of personal functions of arts, like individual expression, emotional release, creating meaning, and personal exploration. The personal function of art is when the art is used for self-expression, emotional release, or personal reflection. It allows the artist to express things they might not be able to say with words and helps the viewers to connect with their own feelings. Just like Vincent van Gogh's painting, like Starry Night and Sunflower, utilize the color and brushstrokes to convey the turbulence within his mind.
Social function of art. Art plays a crucial role in society by facilitating communication, preserving cultural heritage, and serving as a vehicle for social critique. Universal communication. Art transcends cultural, linguistic, and societal boundaries, enabling the sharing of complex of ideas. So art goes beyond cultural, linguistic, and societal boundaries. Even if people don't speak in the same language or live in the same culture, they can still understand the message, emotions, and ideas expressed through art. So it allows humans to share complex thoughts and feelings across different times and places. For example, ancient cave paintings. So these were made thousands of years ago, yet we can still interpret them today as stories, hunting experiences, or spiritual beliefs. They speak across generations. So in short, art is a universal language that connects humanity, whether through prehistoric drawings or modern music. Preserving heritage. Preserving heritage in the context of art means that art helps keep cultural tradition, history, and identity alive across generations. So this explains art captures the beliefs, values, customs, and experiences of a community. Through paintings, music, dance, literature, architecture, and ritual, societies document their way of life and pass it on to future generations. This helps people maintain a sense of identity and belonging even as the world it changes. For example, traditional dance, folk songs, or indigenous crafts preserve the unique heritage and culture. In short, preserving heritage through art ensures that the memory, culture, and wisdom of the past are not lost but instead handed down and celebrated by future generations. Social commentary. Social commentary through art means using artistic expression like painting, music, literature, film, or theater to highlight, criticize, or bring awareness issues in society. Artists often reflect on social, political, or cultural problems through their work. It allows them to question norms, challenge injustices, and spark conversations. Social commentary doesn't just entertain, it provokes thought and inspires change. For example, painting ni Pablo Picasso's nagprotesta sa horror of war. So street art like Banks's works raises awareness about consumerism, inequality, and human rights. So in short, social commentary is a mirror to society. It reflects problems and encourages people to think critically about the world they live in. Thank you.
Physical functions of art. So, what are the physical functions of art? First, we need to know what is the definition of physical functions of art. So, the physical functions of art refer to the practical uses and application of art that go beyond mere aesthetics. It's about how art serves a purpose in our physical world, shaping our environment and fulfilling practical needs while still being visually appealing. So it's the integration of utility and aesthetic. Art isn't just about beauty, it's also about functionality. So, ang art daw, dili lang siya about sa ikatsuhi ba niya or unsa ba na siya kanindot. So, sa physical functions daw, ang art is about unsa ang magamit niya sa atong kalibutan. So, practical application, art that serve a specific purpose. So that is one of the key aspects of physical function of art. And the second is environmental shaping, art that influences the spaces we inhabit. Aesthetic integration, combining beauty and visual appeal with practical use. So there are three examples of physical functions of art. First is the architecture, useful arts, also known as applied arts, and lastly, the sculptural arts. So we're gonna talk about architecture. So architecture, buildings designed for utilitarian purposes such as providing shelter, spaces for worship, or areas for commerce. Functions, it serves practical needs while also evoking aesthetic response. Example is the Eiffel Tower in Paris, initially built for the World's Fair, now serve as a tourist attraction and a symbol of the city. Next, another example is the Fort Pilar Shrine, located in Philippines, Zamboanga Peninsula. So originally, it is a military defense structure, but now it serves as a religious site and a cultural landmark. Isn't it amazing? So, architecture shapes how we live and interact with our environment, blending functionality with artistic design. Number 2 is useful arts, also known as applied arts. So, applied arts, objects like automobiles, furniture, or woven basket are created for primary functions but incorporate design elements that make them aesthetically pleasing. Its applied art serves a practical purpose while enhancing visual appeal. Example is the designer chair. That is a comfortable and functional but also a statement piece in interior design. And another example is hand-woven textiles, also located in the Philippines, Zamboanga Peninsula, from the Yakan, tribe, and Basilan. Used for clothing and household items, feature intricate design and vibrant colors. So, useful art makes everyday object more enjoyable and can influence consumer choices and cultural identity. So, lastly, the last type of physical functions of art is the sculptural engagement. So, sculptural engagement. Sculpture create pieces through molding and carving that engage viewers physically and emotionally through form, texture, and space. So, to create powerful physical experiences, provoke thought or evoke emotion. Example is, Michelangelo David. For example is Michelangelo's sculpture named David, which demonstrate how cultural art can create powerful physical and emotional connections with viewers. And also in the Zamboanga Peninsula, so indigenous sculpture and carving that reflect cultural beliefs and tradition often used in rituals and ceremonies. Impact, the sculptural engagement can transform spaces and create meaningful experiences, blending artistic expression with physical interaction. So integration of utility and aesthetics. Physical functions of art demonstrate how aesthetic considerations are integrated with practical needs. These art forms serve both utilitarian and artistic purposes, enhancing our lives in multiple ways. They reflect and shape cultural values, tradition, and identity. The physical functions of art are about creating objects and spaces that are not only beautiful but also serve as a practical purpose, enriching our physical and cultural environment. So, in conclusion, ang physical functions of art is not only about the beauty of the art, but also it is about how it can be used in our world.
Art of imitations. First, we have mimesis. Art imitates the physical words with itself a copy of internal forms. So, there are copy the, kumbaga, example, kani, pila ni, kani, then, yarang isunod ba? Kumbaga, kapihan na bitaw niya. Muna internal forms. Then, second, we have twice removed. A twice removed from ultimate reality and truth is kumbaga gikopy na, kapihon pag yun. Muna ikaw, twice remove. Suspension. Art could mislead and corrupt by representing illusion rather than truth. 1. Suspension their act and instance suspecting something without for or slight evidence. And next, we have purposeful imitations. Art imitative nature is an flaw but a fundamental aspect of human learning and pleasure. There are teaching emotion skills, imitation skills. Kumbaga, nagtudlo siya sa mga skill na sinuon. Ano siya? Then, second, differ truths. Art can imitate inner stage, actions, and universal truths. Kumbaga, nisuon siya sa mga kuwan ba? Ano ba itong pang-universal na kuwan? Truths na katotohanan sa tanan. Ano siya guys? Yang iso ng katotohanan sa mga gituan sa tanan. Next, we have catharsis. Art provides emotional release, particular intelligence, allowing audience to experience and forge emotions. Kumbaga, is allowing to forge emotion. Kumbaga, murang kuhan ba? Murang ito siya control also aman. Kumbaga akong gi-allow ang mga forge emotion. Kasi mga kaagi, ang mga emosyon na kuhan sa panatihan. Kasi manana siya guys. Paris.
Art as expressions. So let's proceed. Leo Tolstoy theory that art is fundamentally about the communications of emotions has profoundly influenced our understanding of artistic expressions. So according to Leo Tolstoy, art is mainly about expressing and sharing emotions. An artist creates arts to show what they feel. Like for example, ang artist is mag-paint siya based sa iyang feelings or emotions. Like for example, nasuko ba siya, nalipay siya, naglagot siya, or in love siya sa muna yung gibate. And also, when people experiences the art, they can feel the same emotions the artist wanted to share. So like sa akong example ganina, kung mag-paint ang isa ka artist, kung ang katong mga tawo nga nakakita sa iyang gibuhat, so makafeel po kung unsa ang gibati sa artist sa katong pagbuhat niya atong art. Next, let's proceed to Tolstoy's theory, contemporary expansions. So, arts is a human activity consisting in this, that one person's consciously, by means of certain external signs, transmits to others feelings he has experienced. So, Tolstoy's theory says that arts is a human activity where the artists intentionally express their feelings through symbols of methods, like for example, drawing, music, stories, dance, or singing. Through this, other people can also experience the same feelings the artist went through. So now let's proceed to expressive range. Modern expressionism acknowledges a broader range of expressive responsibilities, including intellectual, social, psychological states, not just raw emotions. So in modern expressionism, arts does not only shows emotions, it also includes thoughts, social conditions, and also inner feelings or state of minds. So next, shift in perspective. The emphasis has shifted from the artist's direct emotional inflections to the artwork's capacity to evoke a response or understanding in the viewers, regardless of the artist's original intent. So this idea means that arts is not only about the feelings of the artist. The emphasis now is on how the audience receive and understand the artworks, regardless of the artist's original intentions. So last, complex interplay. Contemporary views emphasize a more complex interplay between artist, artwork, and audience in the expressive process. Complex interplay. Art does not only came from the artist, it meaning that effects depends on the artist who creates it, the artwork itself, and the audience. So these three works together to complete the process of the expressions.
Art as form. Formalist approaches emphasize art aesthetic qualities over subject matter, focusing on composition, lines, colors, shape, and textures. Key formalist principles impact on modern art movements. Significant form. Clive Bell and Roger Fry arguing the aesthetic experience comes from a significant form, arrangement of lines and colors that evoke aesthetic emotion. Secondary content. Formalist. The content of messages in secondary. What matters is how elements are organized to create a compelling visual experience. Formalism provided a theoretical framework for understanding non-presentational works, shifting critical attention from what is depicted to how it is depicted. Cubism broke down object into geometric shape, focusing on form over representation. Suprematism reduced art to basic geometric forms, emphasizing purity of form. Art as form, emphasizing the formalist approach, which focuses on artworks, qualities such as composition, lines, color, shape, and texture rather than subject matter of narrative. Formalism values significant form, a term introduced by Clive Bell, which suggests that aesthetic experience arrangement of visual elements that evoke emotion.
Idea of art as an institution. According to institutional theory, an object becomes art not simply because of how it's look or how it's made, but because it is recognized and legitimized by the art world. Art world means a network of institutions and people that give art its meaning and value. There are four main groups of this network. First, we have art institutions like galleries, museums, and art schools. They give art space to be exhibited, studied, and appreciated. Second are art critics. These are journalists and academics who interpret and evaluate artworks, shaping how people see them. Next are the audience, the people who view, support, and engage with art. Without audience, art would have no one to speak or appreciate. And the last one are the artists who create the works that enter this whole system. And a famous example of this is Duchamp painting in 1917. He submitted a urinal as an artwork. At first, it seemed like just an everyday object, but once it was placed in an art exhibition and discussed by critics, it's become recognized as art. This shifted the focus away from the object beauty or craftsmanship and instead highlight the artist's idea and the role of institutions in defining art. This is why the theory says an artwork is an artifact that has had conferred upon it the status of candidate for appreciation. Like for example, ang isa ka butang dili mahimong art kung dili ilhon o dawaton sa giilang mga institusyon o mga kritiko. So art as an institution teach us that art is not just about the object. It's because the recognition, context, and meaning given to it by the network of the art world.
So the contemporary debates in art revolves around three main ideas, which is the definition of art, art and technology, and lastly, art and ethics. So the first is definition of art. The definition of art is challenging traditional boundaries, which is questioning what constitutes art through ready-made institutional recognition and prioritizing ideas over form. Number two is art and technology. So it explores how digital art, virtual reality, and interactive creative exhibits transform artistic expression, raising questions about authorship, originality, preservation, and the medium's influence. And lastly, the art and ethics. It debates freedom of expression versus public sensitivity, labor exploitation in large installation, environmental impact, and the tension between the art's autonomy and its social purpose. Yes.
Art is constantly evolving, reflecting changes in culture, technology, and society. It moves from traditional forms like painting and sculpture to include digital media, performance, and interactive experiences. This evolution shows how artists adapt the new idea and tools, pushing boundaries to express contemporary realities and emotions. Contemporary art is significant because it challenges traditional boundaries, reflects urgent social and political issues, and embraces new technologies. It provokes thought, sparks dialogue, and connects diverse global experiences, making art a powerful tool for understanding and shaping today's world.